Hello. Hi everyone. Welcome to Python training program. Today we are going to study a brief intro about this data types whatever we have. Python supports integer, float, string and various complex number different sets of data types. So what exactly an integer? An integer is a number without a decimal point. For example, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, all these comes under an integer. If you can jump onto a float with a decimal point, we can treat a number as a float. See here 6.7, 6.10, 10.9, all these things we can treat it as a float. Whereas if you go for a complex number, here are the examples for this complex number. In the real world, assume that you are working on an e-commerce application where the pricing plays a crucial role. There you can use a float data type where the price is a combination of the decimal values and as well as an integers. Okay, so let us jump on to our PyCharm and see a simple example. See guys, in the last session, we have created a simple example which has a print statement, and we added a single line comment and as well as a multi-line comment. So when I run my, when I perform a right click operation on my script, you do have an option as a run as an example one. Click on an example one, the script is getting executed and see the output is printing to the console, which is Surendra Jagannatham. See here, let me highlight that particular one. See here is a console where it is printing that particular output. See the Surendra Jagannatham, it got a printed to the console. For suppose if I change this value to not Surendra Jagannatham, if I change it to Lucky Trainings, and now when I run my example one, this time it is printing the updated value. So this is the way how to use a simple program in order to print some information to the console. Now let us jump on and see how can we create a simple program which will perform the various kinds of an operations on numbers and floats and as well as the another type available, for which I'm creating a new file again. New, that too it's going to be a Python file, and example 2, selecting this Python file. See the new file got a created. Now in this, first of all, I would like to create an example for integer. I'm writing down my text here. Below lines represent integer example, and I want to comment down this line, so I'm pressing control and question mark in my keyboard, or I can directly add a hash in the starting. Automatically this line will be a comment. Anyone just by looking into this line can understand what exactly the action we are performing here. Usually in Java or any other programming languages, we usually specify the data type. Okay, we usually specify the data type in which it's just creating integer, float, like that. Whereas here in Python, you no need to specify that. See, a is equal to 10. So directly the data a is being stored here. B is equal to 20. So I have a defined a and b, which are two integers. And the similar way, C is equal to 10.25, D is equal to 11.25. So I have a defined two integers and as well as a two floats. Now, what I'm going to do, I can use a print method, and using the print, I know if there is an two numbers, I can perform some operation. See, print A plus B, the content present in a and B, it's going to add, and we are trying to print that information. The similar way, print C plus D are the two options which I'm trying again. I'm just adding these two. So let me try to run my script and see whether it is executing or not. So run as a Java application. See here guys, 30 and 25, the sum of these two numbers got a printed. The first is the sum of an integers and the second is the sum of a float. The two got a printed here, but just by looking into the numbers, it's a bit confusing for me. So what I'm going to do right now means, let me comment these two lines. So I'm just commenting these two lines. Now what I'm doing means, E is equal to A plus B. So the sum of these two numbers, A and B, the result I'm storing it in a E, and the similar way, F is equal to C plus D. So we stored these two numbers into E, and we stored the sum of a float numbers into here. So I am adding a comment on top of it. Below E is the sum of integers. And the similar way, adding a comment below F is the sum of floats. Even, print E, and the similar way print F. Even in this situation also, there is no much differ. The reason is earlier we are just printing the value in the print statement, are adding the numbers in a print statement, and now we are storing it and we are printing it. It doesn't makes any difference. So what I want to do right now is, let me add a comment. I want to I want to add some message and the desired value. To do so, whatever the message that you want to print, place it in double quotes within the print and use plus symbol followed by your desired value. Okay, see here what I'm trying to do is integer sum is, okay, integer sum is plus E, and the similar way float sum is plus F. Okay, I have given this particular stuff now. And now let me try to run my script and see the error here. See here, the error, what it is stating is a type error. Can only concatenate a string, not an integer to a string. See, the point out over here is whenever we represented something in double quotes, okay, whenever we represented something in double quotes, it will treat it as a string. Treat it as a string. Okay, string is another data type. So we can't, or else Python can't add a string and a number directly. That's what the error message is. Then how I need to print the text followed by a number. How I am going to do that? See here, can only use a string itself. So here I need to change the type of this E to a string so that I can print that info to the console. To do so, what I want to do right now is whatever the variable you want to print, add str open braces variable close the braces. Automatically that variable will be converted into a string. See here, I want to go this one. So plus str of E, the similar way str of F. That's it. Let me run my script and see run example 2. See here, integer sum is 30, float sum is 21.5. So guys, if you clearly observe this example, see this is a multi-line comment whatever I have added. So what I have done in this script, guys, if you clearly observe, done in this script is, okay, we created two integers and two strings. Later, we added both of them, and finally, we tried to print the sum with appending a string. We encountered an error and we fixed that issue. So like this, we can create a simple script, guys. Okay, like this, we can create a simple script. So this is a simple script how to print the sum of these numbers, and we can convert it into a different data type, integer into a string. So we have seen how to use a string, how to use an integer, and how to use a float as well. String means, guys, there is nothing to define a string. P is equal to this is a Surendra. This is a string. If something is representing in a double quotes, we can treat it as a string. P, this is equal to Surendra is a string. We have a defined here. That's it. And print. This time, I want to print P directly. And when I run my test script as an example, so it is throwing some error message in the line number 23. Let us see where it is. So it's having some issue with this spacing, guys. So I just used that spaces properly, and when I try to run my test script, this is Surendra got printed. But my requirement here is I don't want to print a P directly. I would like to append some data. Surendra QA trainer, and he is a, my text is good trainer plus P. See here, in this situation, what it will happen, the content, whatever I have represented is a string, plus the value, whatever we have stored in a P is a string. We are adding two strings. Below print is adding two strings. Hence, it should not throw any error messages. Let me run my script and see. Okay, run as a run example two. See, Surendra QA trainer, he's a good trainer, so it got a printed to the console. In an earlier example, we encountered an error message. The reason is there we tried to add string plus a integer, hence we got an error. In this example, we are adding a string and a string, hence we didn't got any error messages. So this is all about an integer, float, and a string. How can we perform a basic operation on all of them? And now, once we are done up to here, there is another simple commands of which we can use it here. So what I'm doing means I'm creating another Python file, example3, and here a equal to 3, b equal to 10.25, c is equal to this is Surendra. Right, I have added a, b, and a c, three different variables here. How would I know what exactly Python is considering it A as, how Python is considering B as, and how Python is considering C as? So if you switch back to the running notes, we have a type function. We can use a type function to find out the class of a number. See here, type of A. See, this type of a, that's it. So what I'm going to do, if you observe here, an integer number belongs to a integer class, a float number belongs to a float class, and other string belongs to a string class. So what I'm going to do right now means print type of a, the similar way print type of a B. Let me try to run my script and see how this is going to work. See here, the class is an integer, the class is a float. So A, it is considering as an integer, B, it is considering as a float. Okay, so type is a method which is used to see which data type Python is considering the variables. Okay, whatever the variables Python is considering, we can see that particular one here using this one. Okay, good enough. Done the deal. And then the next example here we have is an is instance. Is instance is a function which will check whether that number belongs to a particular class or not. And if it is returning true means it's belonging to the same class. If it is returning false means it's not belonging to the same set. An example for this particular one is instance, and I'm saying a comma, I know the class of a is an integer. I'm just defining like that. Okay, so print is instance a comma int. When I run my script, it returned the output as a true for the last statement. For suppose if I change it to float, and when I run my test script, it's returning as a false. The meaning is A, it is an integer. Python is considering as an integer, and you are asking that it's a float, which is not the same, hence it is getting failed. So type and is instance are the two different methods which we can use it internally, and we can play operations on the data types. Okay, so this is a high level overview on a database, guys, data types, guys. Okay, thank you very much. See you again in the next session. Bye bye.